So South Africa was got whitewashed in the T20 series against Australia. And on today's show, we're going to be talking about the game and what took place. What were some of the decisions we agreed with? What are some of the decisions that we don't agree with? Particularly, I want to talk about one man that really stood out and put in a great performance, and that is Donovan Ferreira. I think he played beautifully today. I think he put on a good showing. He actually is the reason why South Africa actually got into a good position in the end of the game, into a position of strength, kind of, as at least. Constant improvements throughout each game, but not good enough ultimately. With a bowling performance that wasn't really necessarily anything to be impressed with. But before, and these particular culprits, obviously, that have been similar throughout the series, that have lost South Africa games with the ball, I think, as well. But before we get going, before we get started, there's a couple of things I'd like you guys to please do. Please help us get to that 4,000 subscriber mark. We're just 50 away. So subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell for all future videos. Also, don't forget to subscribe to Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. You can also help us out here at Cricket Fanatics Magazine by becoming a patron today. Link is on the screen as well as in the description right now. We need your support if you want to help us continue doing what we are doing here. Smash the like button, comment and share, and go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all your regular updates. Now, this is a call-in show. The link is in the description for you guys to call in and have your say if you want to give some input into the stream. But I'll start off with just recapping what took place in this particular match for those that didn't watch the game, and just refreshing our memories on what happened. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your review show. I'm your host Khalid, and today we are capping off a terrible day in sport for me personally, as a United fan and obviously a Proteas fan. Two results not going my way at all. So if I seem a bit somber over here on the stream, then please forgive me, because I'm still trying to just process everything that happened in the match now, as well as in the match against Australia in the series. So Australia obviously whitewashing South Africa in this particular T20 series. We had a feeling before the series that we were going to have a tough time against an Australia team that is quite strong. Besides the debutants that they played, they had some world beaters in their team that you can look up to and see as threats, and they were the ones that actually took the Australia team over the line in the series. The big names, the experienced guys stepped up and they performed. That's ultimately what happened. That is the difference between South Africa and Australia in this match. The guys that are the stars of the team, or supposed to be the stars of the team, really showed what they are capable of. Now, to start everything off, it all starts with a toss, and South Africa elected to bat first, and in this particular match, which a lot of people called for South Africa to do throughout the series. And it started off horrendously with Temba Bavuma going out for a duck, facing two balls and then out. So it wasn't necessarily a very good. Facing one ball, sorry, and losing his wicket. It was a terrible start for South Africa, 1 for 1 in 0.2 overs. But then there was, and then it followed by Matthew Brzezinski just a couple of over later, basically. Actually, exactly. And 2 overs later, Matthew Brzezinski lost his wicket. 2 for 12, South Africa found themselves in. There was some consolidation, some recovery from Aiden Markram, who batted very well today. But again, we're seeing him give away his wicket in a crucial time of a match, in a time where South Africa were looking to turn the corner. He was closing in on a half century, and then he gives his wicket away. He scored 41 of 23 at a strike rate of 178. He batted pretty well throughout that knock. Then Tristan Stubbs also showed a great push through from his side. He was also looking really good at the crease, but he lost Riza Hendricks, his partner, who had another good performance with the bat. The guy doesn't stop scoring runs, and 42 of 30 balls with a strike rate of 140 was a decent showing from him once again. Okay, yes, he didn't get that half century that he's been so used to getting in recent times, but he scored a decent 42, and he put South Africa past the 100-run mark. But losing his wicket really shocked the team a bit, and Tristan was looking in good form at the crease again, like in the last game. But once again, just losing his wicket again, and very obviously very angry about it too. After losing his wicket, but we are seeing much better performances from Tristan when he gets more time at the crease. He scored 25 of 16, strike rate of 156.25 and 1 4 and 2 6s. I really thought he was going to go and kick on in this particular match. But the star of the show for me, 100%, was Donovan Ferreira. This guy, his mentality has been superb this throughout his career so far. Every single time he's been given an opportunity to come in and show why there's such a big buzz around him. He's ended up doing well and ended up performing well and really putting on a top performance. He scored 48 in this particular match, and he did it of 21 deliveries at the strike rate of 228.57 with 5 6s and 1 4. He was phenomenal today. I thought he batted really brilliantly in that six role. And I think that this could possibly be a serious push for him to be selected in the World Cup in the future, in the T20 World Cup. I'm not so sure about, obviously, the ODI World Cup right now, but definitely in the next T20 World Cup, he should be looking at that. He should be looking at those type of at this particular at that particular World Cup to really make himself a top player. Now, I'm with regards to the bat getting under 90. I think it was a good push from that perspective. But other than that, I mean, with the ball is where we lost the game, and I think that it was something that I can't really say much about it ultimately, because the the players that didn't perform, or the one player that I think stands out as a player that didn't perform well again is Lungingidi. We have to talk about it. We have to speak about it. I mean, ultimately, it wasn't a great performance from him. Not for 18 at the strike rate of 18. He only bowled one over in this match, and he was and in that over he wasn't very effective at all. It put pressure on the lineup as well, a lot of pressure on the lineup. It was good to see Keshav Maharaj get a run out in the middle and get an opportunity, but he was also quite expensive. And so was Lazard Williams today. But I'm not going to fault Lazard too much, because Lazard has played well throughout the series. I was impressed with Bjorn Fortuin. Apart from one over where he was quite expensive, he bowled really well. He got 2 wickets for 36 runs and an economy of 9, and I think he bowled really well today. So did Gerald Coetzee with 2 for 36 in his 3.5 overs. But it wasn't enough, because once again, like I said, the Australian experienced batters came to the crease and they dominated. Once again, Travis Head scoring 91, Josh Inglis scoring 42, okay, and Marcus Stoinis, obviously 37 not out of 21 deliveries, 2 4s and 3 6s. We need a player like Marcus in our team, someone that can bat up the order and also bowl. It's something that South Africa is also lacking. We're hoping that obviously Aiden Markram can play that role for South Africa. But all in all, another disappointing performance from South Africa. Another big defeat. South Africa obviously losing the game by losing the game by 5 wickets with 13 balls remaining and losing the series 3-0. So, but this is not just about what I think about the game. This is also about what you guys think. So I'm going to start reading the comments. Paul Terry says pathetic. Sharath Yu says my only concern is that Pavuma is our World Cup captain. I don't think he's our World Cup captain. Yes, it wasn't. So we were hoping, obviously. I think what Rob's thinking was by giving Pavuma a chance in these matches is that besides the fact that he said yes, okay, cool, he's going to give him another opportunity at some point to prove himself in T20. I think it was also to get him a run out um, heading into the ODI series, an important ODI series, I think, to gain momentum for the World Cup. He's been out of action for quite some time now. He hasn't really played much cricket, and it's been a long time on the sidelines, not playing cricket. So it would have been nice for him to get free his arms a bit and get some momentum going into this. But it was two terrible performances from him on this tour, so far, and one okay decent performance in the second ODI, in the second T20I. But ultimately, um, it wasn't a good showing. He didn't necessarily show us anything for him to be selected in T20 World Cup team or T20 teams in the future. He also wasn't really that great in the field today. All in all, it was a very bad day out for Temba Bavuma. No one can blame Captain Aiden Markham for captaincy for other. He has done well through the series, but the rest of all, Bavuma and Gidi really embarrassed today. What more should Bavuma do to get dropped permanently from the squad? She shared with you. I believe Don should be added to the ODI squad. What's your thoughts? Um, I would like to see maybe get a game. We are looking for those players in those seven position. Maybe he can work on his bowling a little bit more, and he can become that number seven that we are looking for. But today, I don't think that it was the right call to drop Deva Brevis. I thought we should have played him on all three games. I don't think it was a good move. I think he would have benefited from getting another run out in the middle and learned from the experience more. I mean, in the end, Pavuma got a duck, and it didn't really help that he performed poorly. I was a bit disappointed with Matthew Bretsky's performance today because I really hoped he was going to take it, but it's very difficult to sit and then come into a game immediately and just perform instantly when you're in this format. So not an excuse necessarily, but I saw one sign and I thought, okay, maybe he's got it here. Maybe he's going to go on and do something great, but unfortunately he didn't. I would have liked to see maybe open the batting today, and Bavuma um, uh, replaced by Deva Brevis. That would have been the ideal thing for me. Um, Bavuma always getting crease and gone for duck most of the time in T20s. Other matches, taking catches, to important catches missed. What bowling coach doing on fielding coach? And I don't know why CSA made Rory as bowling coach. Why not Dale Steyn? I don't think Rory Kleinveld is bowling coach, guys. We believe in senior boys, says Keshav. Keshav says ODI series would be good to watch, and I'm hoping it will be. Aruna saying fire Bavuma from T20I. Hi Khalid, what a start for Donovan Ferreira. I think it's a brilliant start, and I think he really showed us that if anybody put up their hand for selection for more game time in the future in this format, it's Donovan Ferreira, and I don't think he should be ignored. That was an innings of intent. That was a performance of intent. I mean, he got run out to lose his wicket in the end on 48, but he needed to, he needed to up the intensity and get as many runs on the board as possible. So in my opinion, I think he's really done. He's done enough in this one match from my perspective to get another chance in this format. I think at this point we gave too many chances to Temba and justifies his selection for T20 at this point. I don't think. I don't. I was in agreement with Temba being dropped from the T20 team initially, especially when you do have guys coming through the system that are that can that play a much quicker game and a more aggressive type of game. Yes, he showed a little bit in the second T20, but you want to see your senior players keep things consistent. that's something that you want from your players. I mean, at least Aiden and Riza have been consistent throughout the series. And Aiden unlucky on 49 and again unlucky today on 41. But given his wicket away, I think he needs to cherish his wicket a little bit more. Sometimes maybe when he's in the 40s and moving on and doing well, maybe just stay calm and play the simplest shots rather than going for the biggest one, the bigger shots. Australia number 7, Ashton Turner. SA knows number 7, good for nothing, Bjorn Fortuin. What a joke, says Tex. Um, George Linder would be laughing, says Wackers George, but congrats, DF, dream start for him. Bjorn Fortuin, by mistake, taking wicket, no spin bowling, only simple bowling. And SA7, what a joke. Really need to find a spin bowling, special leg spin, and Bavuma. I think that I agree with you that maybe number 7 is a little bit too high for Bjorn Fortuin in T20 cricket. I thought that he'll be maybe be in that number 9 position for South Africa as the second spinner. I also think that Bjorn's best attribute is opening the bowling with spin, piling on the pressure in the first 2 overs. I think that's his best attribute, and Markram hasn't utilized him like that. He rather put the pressure on himself and utilize himself as the opening spinner. So when batters are in and they're really going, Bjorn's style of bowling kind of sometimes plays into their hands. But I think he had a decent game today with the ball. I don't think he was as bad as you guys are making him out to be with the ball. I do believe though that number 7 is maybe too high, and I don't think that's a place that he'll play in again in the future. I think it's the lack of 7s and 8s that we don't have them. Magala's injured, Wayne Parnell's injured, so that 8s and 7s aren't really. Marco Janssen also wasn't available. So that 8s and 7s is a problem. And I've been saying it for a very long time that the number 7 position has been a problem for South Africa for a while now. We need to start finding that next number 7 that we that for South Africa. Khalid, bro, your opinion on Fortuin batting at number 7? I just gave it now. Could see a really impressed CSA needed to back him in all formats. Kani said Khalid Gidi has been poor both ODI and T20s in the last couple of years. I won't be surprised if they stopped if he's dropped from the World Cup squad. That's if it, I mean not selected for the World Cup squad. Yeah, I don't know what's been going on with Ngidi. I don't know if it's a lack of game time and finding momentum. He's always been a momentum type of player that needs to play as much cricket as possible to get the best out of him. But this particular series wasn't a good one for him. It didn't look good. It wasn't a clinical performance from him. And yeah, I don't think he's done anything in this particular series for us to be excited about and for us to say, okay, cool, he has solidified a spot as a bowler. I think Lazada Williams has done a lot more than he in this series to warrant maybe a future selection as one of the backup bowlers or maybe one of the main bowlers in the side for the Proteas in the T20 format, especially with KG's form recently that hasn't been good. There's maybe a spot for one more bowler. In Rob Bolter era, bowling is main concern for SA. I have not looked attacking as well economically. All get smacked, no Yorkers, bounces. Yeah, we need to do that more. Yorkers is a problem, and I don't understand why that's not been worked on. Or maybe it is, and they're just not performing it or executing it correctly. What is the point playing Ngidi? He is going to bowl only 1 over. They should be played an extra batsman. True. We are now dropping catches too, not acceptable. Kani say Giri being dropped is a high possibility, but also he has a chance with both Magala and Parnell injured. So at least the end of Temba only got too many chances. It's enough now, says Gaurav. I agree that the Temba project is starting to get a little bit it's starting to go a little bit wonky and it's starting to backfire because there's nothing that is done in the T20 format for South Africa that I would say warrants him a selection in the side. Um, I would rather gamble on a younger player. Um, maybe start pushing Stubbs up the order a little bit more, and relying on someone like him. And also Donovan Ferreira deserves a chance and a shot in this team. We could. The nice thing about South Africa's team is the T20 team is you can push Heinrich and David Miller up the order to make place for Donovan Ferreira easily. There shouldn't be a hesitation there as a possibility. That can very much be a possibility for South Africa. So yeah, I really enjoyed Donovan's performance. I thought it was magnificent. Under the pressure he played, came in first game for the Proteas debut to put on a performance so a fearless performance like he did. I think it was a brilliant knock from him. Temba with two zeros. I feel sorry for the player who actually deserves to be picked, says cricketer. Khalid, we always blame our batsmen for losses. To be honest, we have a terrible bowling attack apart from Nokia. Yeah, and today I do think that our bowlers didn't bowl well enough to be able to get a victory. They should throughout the series. I think yes, our batters didn't necessarily come to the party in other matches as well as they did at the end here, but our bowlers haven't been good either. So we weren't consistent. We didn't keep good lines and lengths consistently. We didn't bowl many Yorkers. We didn't go for those bumpers. Um, there weren't a lot of variations used consistently. Ultimately, the it was a very average performance from the bowlers in general. But from this group and from this unit, you maybe need one or two, that you can add to the squad because when South Africa's all of their bowlers are fit and all their all rounders are fit, then we have quite a decent bowling attack. So it's about finding maybe one from the series or two that can maybe play as backups to the first team. Um, should give more opportunities to Williams and Kutsia. Yes, definitely. I think so. To be honest, deserve to whitewash for such selection blunders. Feeling bad for Aiden though. We need an all-rounder. Tail is way too big. Can't work like that in all formats, and it's definitely very true. Sam's given his ODI 11. I'm not going to be reading out the ODI 11 until we do the previews for that. Lungi can't bowl anymore. He's too expensive, says cricketer. Don't even talk about Bavuma because it's embarrassing at this point. Temba is done in T20, says Wackers George. Um, I think Coach Rob Walter has seen how many runs scored by Bavuma, and today he also missed two catches. That's cost SA the game. Ngidi should stick. Come on. Why they give Bavuma so many chances but not Brevis? No dig at Stubbs, but in one game, Don showed more maturity, and Stubbs showed throughout his whole international career thus far. The way Don went about his innings was majestic, not just hitting the ball. Yeah, and that's why I believe that Don is more of a six than Tristan is. So I think Tristan should be a backup for maybe Klaasen, and Don should maybe be a backup for David Miller in our main 11. That's what I think should happen. But I think those two players should be the next two that get pushed into the side. Um, Lungi was hit for two zeros. Don rocked today, Khalid, bro. What an innings he played. Yes, he was fantastic today. I really enjoyed his knock. Bjorn got the second wicket just because Head was in a hurry to finish. Plus, he hasn't shown any batting abilities to bat at seven. Yeah, I agree with you there. But his economy was relatively good today compared to the rest of the bowlers. Lungi too. Okay, thank God Boucher's not coach, says Young Gun. Okay. Why Deva Brevis? But I don't think it's the coaching in this particular game that should be under fire necessarily. First and foremost, it's not Rob's best team. Second of all, there were enough positives for Rob as a coach to take from this game. I think Donovan is a great one. Gerald, Lazard. There are things, learnings that you can take from this, and things you can add into when you play into that first 11, because that's ultimately what you're trying to do is strengthen that. That's the aim of looking and having testers like this, is to find your solutions to your problem. I think the only solution he hasn't found yet, Rob, is number seven. That number seven spot is a worry for South Africa. I think that we need to find a better batter that can bat and bowl and play at seven. That is our biggest issue at the moment, I think, in South African cricket. As much as I would like to see some more youngsters, we have to acknowledge that our domestic system is weak. If we just throw names to replace who is not performing, we will have the same conversation later. And that is true to an extent. But I also think that what's happened in the domestic cricket scene is also that a lot of senior players have left the game. So we are now playing, there's a lot of inexperienced guys playing against each other ultimately. There aren't as many of those experienced superstars playing domestic cricket at the moment. Don't you think we can beat Australia with our best team, best 11? I think with our best 11 we can. I think our best 11 is really good. Um, if you can have our best 11 and then add in the likes of Gerald Kutsia, um, add in the likes of the Marco Janssen, add in the likes of Donovan Ferreira, Lazard Williams, then you've got a really, really strong unit that you're building here. So I'll take some positives from this, even though it wasn't really entertaining to watch from a South African point of view. There are some positives to take away. I think Rob has gotten some backups that he can add to his squad, to his first 11. Fortuin getting games after the whole Linda saga. Now Linda don't even get games. Today Markram looked but that's not Bjorn's fault. So we can't be having a go at Bjorn because South Africa don't want to pick George Linda. Um, that's the decision the coaches made. So we should actually have a go at coaches if you want to see George play and he hasn't played. Australia is lucky to have two genuine quality pace bowling all-rounders in the top six. Both of them can give you 5 to 7 overs, which currently no other team has. They can afford to play better. In my opinion, Vian Mulder is the perfect number 7 for SA, especially in ODIs and tests. Even in T20, he has improved his game, but he needs to work on his space bowling. We have to be realistic. If we bring Linda to replace Bjorn, it won't solve anything because they are both not up to the level of international top spinners. We always throw names just to replace, says Ahmed. And that's true. I've seen that often happen. We lack left-handed middle order batters, says Kani. Drop Temba and open with Markram. Markram in power play is a different beast. But I mean, we've got Quinny and Riza in the power play. Um, Seeing that Riza is our best batter at the moment, I mean, it's clear as day that he is currently our best T20 batter. So, other than Heinrich Klaasen, of course, I'm talking about from this. Other than Heinrich Klaasen, I think as well, he's been brilliant. And David Miller's also been brilliant in his career. But based on consistency, Riza's been excellent. So I wouldn't be dropping anybody there. I don't think from the first team. Sam's also had a poor series, yes, he did. Not think that Markram opened the batting. He really improved his game at 4, maybe at 3 in future, but no need to have him to open. There isn't a need at the moment with the current best 11 that we have. And Prasad saying in all 3 matches, Australia were 160 to 170 after 15 overs. Bowling was pathetic the entire series. Ahmed saying we always think to pick the right players, which is correct, but not the only thing to do. If the domestic system doesn't improve, you can't resolve the situation by switching from player to another, and that is true. I agree with him there. There's no depth of good players in the country. We know why, says cricketer. I disagree about the bowling attack. Rabada has been poor for a while, and apart from Nokia, we have a poor attack. It's amazing how they don't have any bowling plans, can't do basics, says Neil Govender. Khalid DF is expected to leave back for Caribbean to play in the CPL. So unless in the next 24 hours he's added to the ODI, he won't be available. I don't think we should be thinking about him at the moment in ODIs. I don't think it's necessary. Marco at 7. We need a 7. That's what we need. That's the one position we're missing. We're playing two eights at 7 and 8. I don't think Shamsi playing in World Cup games. If I was coach, I will not let him in the World Cup squad as well, says Sam. Khiel Linda is the answer, Khalid, to that number 7. But I don't know if Ikhev is that answer because I see him batting 5 rather than 6 or 7. Me personally, I don't think George is the type of player that comes in immediately and goes gunzo. That's not his game plan. That's not his game. But if this happens in Boucher era like the series, you will go against Boucher along with that Mpo will call unqualified coach. But today you are all are quite quiet. I praised Boucher and I went against Boucher. I did both. Um, Boucher never played, and also Boucher never played with a second string team like Rob did today. So we have to look at like for like, and then we can compare. We can be critical of Rob, but we can also give him praise in certain areas. But we were always under the impression that the T20 series was going to be to give people opportunities to find some extra players to add to the main 11. The ODI series is where we need to start talking and judging. That's actually where we need to be fixated on at the moment. Um, Shamsi, need Linda. Yeah, well, we need to start giving up on that conversation. Shamsi does well against West Indies, Ireland, and Sri Lanka, but struggles against other top teams. Our cricket is in shambles. There are no sponsors, and CSA made a loss at this point past financial year. We do not have a good leg nor good T20 bowlers. Domestic cricket lacking at ease. New government, I disagree, Khalid. We can't beat Australia in any format. This is the worst South African team since readmission, all formats. The lack of quality is palpable. Our cricket is a microcosm of our country declining standards. A microcosm, sorry. Uh, who is the genius behind sending Fortuyn ahead of Kutsia? Linda played a couple of ODIs and did better than any other number 7 with the bat and ball, says Kani. OP saying hello. Boucher also played with second string team when players left for the IPL. And yes, and I didn't criticize him, I don't think, about that. Um, I criticized Boucher the most after the World Cup. I think that's when I criticized him the most because how your team doesn't pitch up with a certain with energy levels low, and then you come in a press conference and say that the energy levels of the team is low. That's where I have an issue. And there were a lot of issues under Boucher, and we can't deny that. And there might be issues under Rob, but we at the beginning of his tenure now. We have. I was patient with Boucher at the beginning. It was towards the end of his tenure that I started getting a little bit more critical. So let's just be fair on the new coach and give him the same time that we gave Boucher, and then we can start criticizing him if it does go wrong initially. But we can't be the same like we were with Boucher towards the end of his tenure at the beginning of Rob's tenure. Is Quinton Cock and Miller going to be available for ODI? Yes, they are. We need more good spinners in the team, says OP Blitz. It's not all a disaster. Remember, this year the focus is 50 over cricket. We may win the series and everybody will be praising. So we're going to have to wait and see. The ODI series is now next. I mean, I'm sick of talking about this T20 series now. And it's quite frustrating. Thanks a lot, Neil Governor, for the super sticker. You're always coming in with brilliant donations. Thanks so much, bro, for the support on the channel. I really, really appreciate it. Just Ginger Josh says Demba and Rassi have had a good go at T20. It's not happening. We have better options, and Gideon Shamsi needs to have a good hard look at themselves as well. 100% agree with us, just Ginger Josh. I 100% agree with that remarks. Why Deva Brevis was dropped, I can't understand. And me neither. I thought he's going to get the full series. I mean, we might as well have. The way Bavuma performed today, he might as well have. Where's the review of the T20 World Cup for Enoch? Yeah, we're still waiting. But it wasn't. Look at it, at least we can learn a lot from the short series. Some bowlers do not look up to the level issues, to the level issues with the lower order. Stubbs and Donovan look like there is something there. Yes, that's why I said there's some positives. Not a lot, but there's some. I think Lazard bowled well. I think Gerald showed some fight. I think Marco showed some fight with bat and ball in the game he played. I think that Riza showed his consistency, which is great. Aiden showed his some consistency, which is great. And I think that Donovan Ferreira stood out with the bat in the series. And I think those are six things we learned from the series that we can take into our first team. So over there we can. Rob should justify Bavuma inclusion in the squad in the press conference. Let's see what he does say in the press conference. We will react to that. We can react to that. Let me see if the press conference has been released, then we can have a check if I can play it on the show. If I can download it in time to play it on the show and see what Robbie has to say about the game. Let me see if it has been shared with us. And if I can download it in time, guys, to play it on the show. Let's have a look. I wasn't happy at all with Brevis being left out today. It didn't sit well with me. I guess Rob was hoping that Pavuma can get some form running into the ODI series, but it wasn't very good from him at all. Okay, so do we have a video or do we only have audio? Let me have a look here. We still haven't received the video, but okay, let's play the audio. We've got the audio here, so we might as well just play the audio. I will try and upload the video file when it does get released for you guys. So let's have a listen to what Rob Walter had to say in his press conference after the game. Oh, come on now, man. Don't mess around with me now. I'm not in the mood. If sake. Where is it? Here's it. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, let me just fix it for you guys. Have a listen and let's react to it. That's what we're here for, these type of things. Okay, sorry I'm taking so long, guys. I will be sharing it with you now. Slides. No, how do I do this? Share screen. Chrome tab. Yebo. Okay, cool. Let's listen.
To hear from your side, your assessments, judging from all three games, and also how the boys.
Thank you for the super sticker, Mohammed Amin. Highly appreciated, brother. Let's continue with the Rob Walter.
Finished, which was probably a little bit positive in terms of how close the results was. But how would you assess the entire series?
Yeah, I suppose to put it bluntly, we were pretty much outplayed really throughout the series in both departments. As you said, though, there were some sort of lights at the end of the tunnel along the way. A couple of, I think we improved as we went along. And there were little bits of our blueprint that shone through today, specifically in the batting department. Being 12 for 2 and then having a 50 or 30 partnership, that's how we want to play the game. We want to keep taking the game forward. Tristan Stubbs played well when he came in, and then obviously Donovan Ferreira on debut to play like that. So, even being in trouble and getting to 190, I suppose that's the positive side of things. And then I felt the guys made a good fist of it, but as we found out throughout the series here, to be really on the money with the bowling, if the mark, they were either hitting the ball for 4 or 6. So our bowling got put under pressure. And a reflection for us is, we weren't good enough, we weren't up to it, but some seriously strong learnings to take away from the series.
Kind of what I said as well, that there were some learnings to take away from the series. Yeah, let's continue.
Alicia from Sports Unlocked. Hard luck, coach, on the loss on the series. Just your overall analysis of the debutants from the first T20, the likes of Gretzky, the likes of
Brevis.
yes.
Yeah.
Just how the impact that they have in the series.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Dewald didn't get many runs in his 2 opportunities. There's still no doubting his quality and his ability. So it was really, from my point of view, the positive was to give him an opportunity to test the waters in international cricket. So he's now got a real sense of playing a good team. What does that feel like? Obviously, Gerald made his T20 debut, which is just sort of a capping of the other 2 that he's already done. I thought he bowled well in the first game and particularly well this evening, so that was pretty good. Matthew, again, didn't get many runs, but still great to give him an opportunity to make his debut. And just watching him go through his work and his training throughout the series, I'm really excited by what he has to offer. Even his dismissal, just the courage to make a play in that situation is sometimes more than the actual results. So we look favorably then, and then Donovan, he really showed us something special, I believe, on debut. To play like that, to hit the ball like that, that's exciting that we've got these types of players in the ranks.
Yeah, vague comments from the coach so far. Yes, I think so too. Neil, dropping off, going to the United States. Have fun, bro. You go and have fun and enjoy it as much as you can, and safe travels.
Coach Yogesh Pillai from the Mercury newspaper. Coach, just a few days to go before the start of the 50-over game. Can you talk to us about the transition from the 20-over game to the 50-over game, also with the World Cup looming around the corner?
Yeah, obviously we get the 5 guys that haven't played yet, the more senior chaps coming back in. So it'll be great to have their energy and experience stepping back into the fray. Yeah, I mean, one thing we can say is it's a lead up to a World Cup, so it is obviously 5 big games for us to come together as a group, to keep building on the type of way we've played the game already so far this year and beyond. So looking excited for that squad to come together, and 5 keenly contested cricket matches. I think we're going to have an awesome series.
Yeah.
Coach, the batting started off well for getting skittled out. Australia's bowling coming to the fore, but the failure to achieve any significant partnerships in the top order, is that a worrying factor, or is it just feeding problems that is hoping to build on into something more effective? Thank you.
No, it's not. I mean, partnerships in cricket is one of the oldest cliches, isn't it? However, for me, as I said, that partnership of 50 or 30 from being 12 for 2, that's with the top order batters. I'm very happy with the way we played that particular portion of the innings. We could easily have gone defensive and tried to protect the back end and walked away with 30 odd in the power play. Instead, we walk away with 50. So yeah, the ideal is always for someone to kick on. I mean, Aiden was going, guns blazing, and then he gets out, he smashes one straight to the fielder. So you can bemoan these small little moments in the game. Ideals are for them to kick on, like Travis said, that he goes on and he scores 90, and that's sort of the significant difference in the game. So, but no one's trying to get out. Everyone's aiming for the same thing, and the game is, it is riddled with risk if you're playing the T20 game these days. So sometimes it's going to pay off, and other times it isn't. I was happy with the progress we made as a batting unit through the series. Still not at our best, but to score 190 today, even with the little hiccups along the way, is a positive sign for me. We could, in terms of how we have played and how we want to play, it could have been 165 day, but instead we got to 190 with that aggressive intent. So all things being equal, if we strung our partnerships together slightly better, it was probably a 2:15 day for us. So not miles off, but there's work to be done.
Thanks. We're going to take one more from the floor before we go online.
Coach Hadlag Ngula from SABC Sport.
Yes.
We know that on Tuesday you will make a big announcement in terms of the World Cup squad. How difficult it is to make such decision, especially with the young promising players that have come on board in the Proteas, the SA20 has also seen a lot of players doing well and raising their hands, and also the senior players seems to be not performing very well in a couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you're announcing a squad, be it for a series or for a World Cup, there's always tough calls that have to be made. The better your system's producing, the better the player that's missing out, if that makes sense. So if we've got good players missing out, it means our system's strong. It means our group of players are strong, and we're not there yet, as we learned in this series, that our next best have got work to do, and we've got work to do as a collective to be better. But yeah, I mean, the World Cup announcement is obviously significant. The young guys that have been in the system through these 3 games and been working away tirelessly in the winter, for me, it's more exciting than anything else. They obviously can't all get a go at the same time, but the future is bright if we manage to manage them well and like we have brought them into international space, give them opportunity to play, test their skills, and give us information as to what we need to do better as we grow them.
Thanks.
So he is aware of the issues. It's clear that he is aware of the issues, and he's clear that he wants to play an attacking brand of cricket. And he's also clear that the next in line need to do a lot more work. So I'm sure there's work being done behind the scenes. He's acknowledged all of those things and acknowledged that it was the best series for them. I mean, couldn't really say anything else but that, can he?
Those online, I will start with those.
Thanks, Lucy. How's it, Rob? Rob, you spoke a little bit about, the batting improvements, and I think we could see that from the outside. But it did look like the area that South Africa were falling short consistently was in the bowling. So I'm just wondering if you assess it that way. And also, I know you had Rory Kleinfeldt and Quinton Friend involved at various times. Have you settled on a permanent bowling coach, and do you know who you may take to India?
So to answer the first question, yeah, look, there's no running away from it or hiding from it. I mean, their batting skill was certainly better than what we had to offer with the ball. The same guys, and that can often be tough. It can be a tough situation to be in when 2 days later you back out. The same guys are out there trying their best again. I'll never ever question the guys' effort. I'll never question the diligence and the work they put in. We got a hard lesson in terms of not executing our skills. So when we were inaccurate or mis-executed, they really punished us. So for me, as much as it was an eye-opener, I think for our bowling unit, again, it gives us a real strong direction as to what we need to do to be better and to contend with the types of hitters that they've got. In answer to your second question, Eric Simons has been joining us through the winter, and he will be joining us through the one-day series and the World Cup.
Thanks.
Okay, so that's a confirmation about Simons, which is brilliant.
For those, we're going to take.
I like the way he thinks about cricket. There's an interview that we did with him on this channel as an exclusive. Guys, go watch that video. It's an evergreen type of article that gives you some insight into the way he thinks about the game, the way he plans, the way the insights that he's given about cricket and South African cricket. I think you guys should go and watch that video as some extra entertainment and information. That interview really taught me a lot about the game and about how we should be thinking about things. So yeah, it's in the exclusive section on our YouTube channel in the playlist. So go have a look at that, guys, when you have the time free.
2 last ones from online. We'll go with Nathan and then look to wrap up with Hines.
Thank you very much, Lucy. Rob, I spotted Tom Dawson squib in the dugout. Obviously, a one-on sports team performer / psychologist. I believe he's with the UCT rugby side. What role does he play within the environment, and when did he join the side?
Yeah, so Tom is our appointed performance coach. So he operates in that space.
He was actually, guys, fun fact, Tom was actually my rugby coach when I was under 15 at Rondebosch Boys. So that's an interesting fact over there. Taught me a hell of a lot about my game in rugby when I was new to the game. Convinced me actually to move from fly off to fullback. And it was a positive move on my part. So a very knowledgeable guy, knows how to deal with people. So I saw it back then already, and now he's actually getting massive gigs. So it's awesome.
He's been with us through half of the winter and will be with us until the conclusion of the season. So yeah, it's been great to have him on board. He's got a broad knowledge of performance coaching across sports, and has been involved in cricket at different levels. So as I said, really cool to have someone with a different perspective. He's great for the coaching staff in terms of challenging us about the work that we do, and then also bringing a different dynamic to the team.
Thanks, Nathan. Hi.
Hi, Rob. Sorry, I'm gonna ask you two-tiered question, if you don't mind, quickly. Firstly, just given that the one-day series is up, and a couple of key guys coming back, I know from rugby experience that sometimes when they say, a guy walks on a knee, it's actually more serious than the knee actually being sore. But with Sisanda, is an acute knee injury a good thing or a bad thing? And then just secondly, just in terms of the World Cup squad announcement, do you think it's actually a good thing that you guys actually settle on the group that's going to India and then go into the one-day series? Almost want to say with that uncertainty away from the group.
So to the first question from a guy who's had lots of knee problems, there's never a nice knee pain. So
yeah, don't understand that question.
Point of view, it's never nice to be injured. Knee, sort of those types of knee injuries can really cripple you, but this one seems to be improving and improving at a decent rate. So we're happy with that. And then, again, it's look, the core of the group knows who they are, and we have been together for a fairly decent period of time. So to nestle in onto what our squad looks like, and then compete in the 5-match series gives us an opportunity to just lay down the way we want to play the game, as we have been trying the whole time. So we're looking forward to it.
Okay, so that was the presser. Not too much to give away over there, but I do think we need to give, like Ahmed says over here, we need to give Rob some time. He's a new coach working with a new bunch of players. He's going to have to take us into the future and work with younger players and stuff, etc. Have a full domestic season to watch so that he can see the next generation of talent coming through. So there's some work to do, which is admitted. A lot of work to do to get our next in line players ready to be able to compete at the top level. So yeah, guys, ultimately that's the end of the show. Thanks a lot for keeping me company tonight and being on here with me and sticking through this T20 series. We'll obviously be Arvind asking me about Bavuma's performance. I said it at the top of the show already. I said I wasn't very happy with his performance. I don't think he should be selected in T20 cricket. I think that we should rather be working with the younger players than be working with trying to change senior players that are struggling to gear up their game or adapt to T20 cricket and the new way of the game has been played. I'll rather work with the younger players who have room to grow and have the time and to put in to be able to change their game. So that's my take on Bavuma before I go. But yeah, thanks a lot for tuning in, everybody. So we'll do our ODI preview before the game to talk about the ODIs, of course. And then we'll cover the ODIs again and do a review show directly after the games. Looking forward to the ODI series because we're going to get our best teams, best players back for that show, and I want to see a performance from these guys that they put in and they play with the right mentality, so we can go with momentum heading into this World Cup. There's obviously the World Cup squad announcement as well on Tuesday, which we're going to do obviously a show on that alone. So stay tuned for that as well. I would like to see your guys' squads as well in that live chat when we do that show. it would be interesting to see what you guys would have selected based on that. But thanks a lot for watching, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to smash the like button, comment, share, subscribe. Click that notification bell for all future videos. I would like you guys to please also subscribe to Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. It's 100% free. Every issue straight to your inbox every month. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. If you want to show your support for Cricket Fanatics Magazine and what we do here, then please become a Patreon today. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. And then go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all your regular updates. I've been Khalid. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Good luck for the rest of the week, everybody, for the new week. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Peace out.